Okay, welcome everyone to the Lenox Selectboard meeting, Wednesday, December 21st at 6 o'clock. I have no immediate announcements, I'll hold off till the end. So I'll entertain a motion for the minutes of December 7th.
I move to approve the minutes from December 7th meeting of the Lenox Select Board.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Citizens Open Forum. We have anybody here for Citizens Open Forum? Of course we do.
Just in time. Hi, guys. My name is Courtney Gilardi, 980 East Street in Lenox. Sorry, I have to catch my breath.
Take your time.
Thank you. I had emailed about Lenox getting on board with sending some letters to the FCC and our state and federal delegation about the wireless harms issue, and wondering how I get those on the agenda.
On our agenda?
Yeah.
You just see Mary Ellen and ask to be on the agenda.
I've emailed and I haven't heard back.
Yeah, you emailed me and I didn't know the answer to the question, so I was going to defer it to Dave.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, we'll put you on the agenda if you want.
That would be wonderful.
Is that it?
That's it. You have solved my problem.
No, I mean, I'm not sure exactly what the
I don't know what our role is or
the
anything, but
request is or what our role is, but, yeah, Mary Ellen.
that's the usual chain of command.
If you could ahead of time, though, give us whatever information you can, because, you know, if you come and hit us cold, it's on the agenda, and we're sitting there like, we don't know anything about this.
I've emailed the attachments.
That's everything we need to know, those attachments?
Those attachments are the letters that Pittsfield and other communities are sending.
Okay.
And so they've been attached, and Chris has a copy of them. You know, the newspaper has written about them. Berkshire Eagle did a really nice opinion piece supporting our Pittsfield city councilors, thanking them for the work and saying that other towns should be involved. And we kind of took that ball and we ran with it. And we were like, oh, so today there was a meeting, Massachusetts for Safe Technology, and they kind of have a representative in the 14 counties of Massachusetts, and somebody from each of those 14 counties are, you know, going to their town select boards and city councilors, just like we're going to with you, and asking for the same thing. President Marchetti in Pittsfield really feels like there's strength in numbers. Many towns are grappling with the cell tower placement issue, as is Lenox. Unfortunately, you know, like what the Eagle reports is we have wireless industry consultants who say, you know, people want towers, but they just want them to be aesthetically pleasing. And then there's a bunch of citizens who say, yeah, we want towers, but we also want to be safe. And we know that it's the role of our select boards and our tri-town boards of health and our planning boards to kind of preserve those qualities of neighborhoods that we come here for. And the science just gets stronger every day. I mean, just as an example, and I can leave this for you, 2 amazing resources just came out today. I mean, one is a public health review called...
I feel like you're covering the material that you want to be on the agenda for at this point.
Yeah, but I mean, I just want to share with you that there's just so much...
We'll give you the 2 minutes.
Thank you. Yeah, you can give me the 2 minutes. But like, there was a new article, it just came out today, peer-reviewed, in Radiation and Health called Wireless Technology as an Environmental Stressor, requiring new understanding and approaches in healthcare. And we do have an EMF medical conference that allows continuing education for physicians, nurses, and allied health professionals that is training doctors in diagnosing people like myself who have injuries due to non-ionizing radiation. There is also an amazing new textbook that just came out for medical students called Electromagnetic Fields of Wireless Communication, Biological and Health Effects. And this is now going to be a textbook in medical schools, teaching people about the health effects of wireless radiation. So, you know, what we've had is we have like this huge body of evidence of science of people who've been harmed. We have legislators who know about the harm. We have this kind of fox in the hen house, like Harvard did this.
Wrap it up.
Thank you. Harvard did a great report on captured agency. But what we really need is the protections, and that's where you guys come in. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Next.
These are for dairy. Oh.
Hello, Sonia Bykowski, 225 Main Street. So, great town meeting. Couple little suggestions. I was outside talking to people in line when they were still in line. Probably, I don't know, 7:15, 7:20, somebody ran out and said, "You better come in, they're on Article 7." I know a lot of those people were waiting in line a long time. I wanted to make a suggestion or two because I wanted to be there. I wanted to be there for the whole town meeting. I didn't know it had started. So one of the problems was people didn't know there were different lanes for different street names. So one of the suggestions I have is if you put a big sandwich board outside identifying, there are like 3 lanes, and what the alphabetical letters for the streets are, because people just didn't know. And I was actually trying to help the blonde who was working with Carrie try and tell people, but it was just really hard because there were a lot of people and it was loud and cold and whatever. So anyway, that was one thing. And I don't know. I guess I would just suggest in the future, if people are there before the start time of the meeting, to wait for the people outside to start. That would be great because they put time out of busy schedules to be there and really wanted to be inside. So that was one thing. The other thing was, given the fact that the proposed bylaws for the cell tower did not pass, I wanted to ask this board if you would instruct or advise or work with the planning board to perhaps now meet with an attorney who is well-versed in wireless ordinances so that they can kind of, fill in the gaps of the things that we feel are missing, just get that perspective. And then hopefully we'll have something really concrete to bring back for the next town meeting so that the bylaws can pass. So I don't know how that process works, but can you consider and do that?
I guess I can give an answer concretely to that specific question. I've said this before this whole group. They're an elected body.
Yeah.
As a select board, we can't tell an elected body what to do or not to do. I mean, we can come to their meetings, we can raise our hand just like anybody else and say, hey, did you think about this? But we don't have authority over them to instruct them what to do.
Okay, you all like basically got up and said you really supported the bylaws that they had brought forward. So can someone from this group at least go meet with them, chat with them? I feel like if nothing happens, if they do not meet with an attorney, then this will just come back in May and it'll just get voted down again. And I, like most of you, really do want better cell service, although mine is good because I have AT&T. But I just want to see this pass. And I think that, I feel like if that happened, if that meeting happened, the likelihood of that passing would be far greater. So I haven't seen another, I don't think, planning board meeting on the schedule yet. So I don't even know when they're meeting yet next time. But I'm happy to go to their meeting and suggest it also.
I don't think they're not expected to meet until the beginning of the new year.
Okay.
As far as I know, unless somebody knows.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said
I don't expect them to meet again until the new year.
until the new year.
Okay. So anyway, I would ask that you just, or at least maybe go to some of the meetings. I've seen Mary Beth there, and maybe hear for yourself. And again, I think I guess a nudge would be great if that's appropriate. But I would love to see that happen because I would love to see something that can pass also. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for citizens open forum? I guess not. Okay, so moving right along. I gotta get used to the fact I have to wear glasses now.
So we have a consent agenda. Mary Beth, you want to bring us up to date on that?
Certainly. We have a seasonal population estimate. Annually, the board votes to determine the seasonal increase in population as it relates to the issuance of seasonal liquor licenses. We typically have set it at 10,000, which is what is being suggested again this year. The only seasonal license that we issue is to the BSO Saranac. We have 2023 annual license renewals. It is time once again to renew these various annual licenses for 2023. All the establishments wishing to renew their licenses have filed their paperwork and they are in good standing with the town. And finally, we have a donations acceptance. Community Center Director Darlene McCauley is seeking our approval to accept monetary donations.
So can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as presented.
Second that?
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So now we can move into the general business, and Mary Beth, you want to?
Sure. We have Dare license changes. Dare Wine, Beer and Provisions is seeking to amend their liquor license with a change in doing business as to Dare Bottle Shop and Provisions and a pledge of their license and inventory to Adams Community Bank.
So, having been in the banking business for a lot of years, I understand the value of a liquor license as opposed to for the business, so, and we used to take them as pledged collateral as well, so I don't have any questions. Does anybody else?
Do you want to explain anything?
Oh, yes,
or do you?
sure.
Is that okay?
I do. So this should have been made prior to us establish our license, so back in
Yeah.
last year, but we kind of like, the bank didn't say anything at the time, and basically it's for the bank, if something were to happen to us, that they could seize the liquor, the wine, the beer, and be able to sell it.
That's
So it's
true.
just like for them to have their name, and it's unfortunate, like we're coming back to see you, but it's
Yeah.
it's a little,
So, I
changes.
mean, the reality of the situation is God forbid they ever had to foreclose, but if they foreclose,
Yeah.
they could sell it with an operating liquor license that goes with it, and then they could continue on with the business. Without the liquor license, they would have to come and apply to us for a new one. It could take some time. So that's the purpose.
Yes,
behind
correct.
it. Yeah. I mean, they're not picking on you, that's pretty
Oh,
standard.
no, and we wish, at the time, should have been presented for
Yeah.
the license 2022,
Yeah,
but this is us now.
here we go. Okay,
Thank you, guys.
thank you.
Appreciate that.
So I'll have a motion.
Okay, great. I will move to approve the application for pledge of collateral and change of doing business as for Mod Incorporated doing business as Dare Bottle Shop and Provisions dated November 17th, 2022.
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So that brings us to, believe it or not, the end of the meeting.
It's all you.
I'd like to take a minute to wish my colleagues and the people of Lenox certainly a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and Happy New Year, because we're not going to meet before the New Year. So I hope you all enjoy your families and have a really good time.
Well said.
Yeah.
You too. I'll second that, or
Thank you.
echo that.
Echo.
Whatever.
I'll like them as well.
Okay, so then I guess, is there anything else anybody want to talk about?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good.
Motion to
Let's
adjourn.
wrap it up. It's 6:14.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.